What's up, Rovers? Today we're going to be looking at a full guide on parrying Tempest Mephis Hologram. I keep getting asked if I'm going to cover it since I use so much hologram footage in my uploads. I wanted to keep this short, but there is a lot to say about attack variations and visual indicators. I'll be showcasing and explaining how to parry every attack. They'll be timestamped in description for those looking for particular movesets. Disclaimer, the aggressiveness and pattern may not fully match what is shown. Always lock on camera to this boss. He teleports everywhere, and it is impossible to keep up manually. I am showcasing a difficulty 4, which is when hologram bosses gain access to their full moveset. Difficulty 5 and 6 typically remain the exact same, except with much more HP and modifiers like gaining more damage over time. If you're fighting holograms below difficulty 4, you will not see all the moves shown here, and many will be just slightly slower, meaning you will have to parry a tiny bit later. As a final note, difficulty 6 completely removes parry indicator circles and you just have to remember parry timings by muscle memory. Sometimes the boss will flicker in and out of existence during telegraphs. You can't do anything about this. It's because you're slow, lined up with when he would normally teleport, so the teleport animation is being delayed into his attack telegraph. Now the one-shot laser and judgment cut moves cannot be parried normally, so I will discuss that separately at the end. I'm using Jian, who has much worse parry windows than Rover, to demonstrate the timings better. For an easier time, I would recommend parrying Tempest Mephis with Rover, be it Spectro or Havoc, Donjin, Sanhua, or Jian Shin if you can get her damage high enough. Jian is still solid because of his skill in ult, however I'm going to be focusing on parrying with his first hit, which has a much tighter parry box than most of the units I've mentioned. Let's get started. One big point to make about this fight before getting into attack patterns. Keep Mephis towards the middle arena, but not dead center. The edge of the arena is death. Several things will happen there. Rocks have different elevations, and it isn't just visual. This can affect slam attack timings for certain parries and dodges, as well as stopping dash attacks early. You do not want this, as it makes parrying inconsistent. At difficulty 4 and higher, Tempest spawns clones arbitrarily that have the exact same moveset, but can act independently and deal slightly less damage than the original. They also spawn much more frequently when Mephis is below 50% health. When Tempest is at the arena edge, the clone is much more likely to spawn off-screen, which makes it difficult to see. Worst case is you get off-screen lasered into oblivion. Also, be aware that the center pedestal is actually slightly elevated, and it will cut his lunge and dash attacks short if they're angled down towards it, and that includes these two attacks specifically. Mephis has longer melee range than you. This can cause your parry to not reach the boss, but his melee will still reach you. Because the boss teleports everywhere, you cannot fully control where Mephis will end up in the fight, but be aware of these situations. Let's start with the first common attack that has two variations, easily catching people off guard. These are the horizontal dashes. Right, then left, then center to attack. He can either appear right in your face for an uppercut, or further away to dash through you. When he starts doing the horizontal dashes, stop moving. The uppercut is easy to counter, just respond naturally to attack, and the parry window roughly matches human reaction time. The dash through variation is much more dangerous and has a delay. Do not walk up to the boss for this dash. You want to melee slightly early, standing away, and let him dash into you to parry himself. This is called pre-parrying and is used for tight parry window attacks. For full explanation on this, check out my video at the top right. If you're not confident with this dash, then dodge. Second attack, tail swipe teleport. This one is easy and consists of two parts. When he spawns the tail lightning trail, just walk, run, or dodge to the right. Parry hitboxes favor this direction for his attack. If this will push him into the wall, then dodge left instead. He will reappear and aerial claw swipe. It has a massive hitbox. You do not need to walk right up to his face. This is one of his slowest attacks, so don't swing too early, it's easy to miss parry. You'll get used to this one, it's basically free parry with zero risk. Third attack, sideways backdash. This always starts by dashing left instead of the first attack I showed earlier where he dashes right. Anyways, you cannot parry this lunge, dodge it. About a quarter second after he jumps up in the air and he begins falling, his feet will fully extend. This is your visual indicator. Attack now to parry this. Your parry should be landing before he makes full contact with the ground. It will take some practice and the window is tighter. Sometimes you won't parry, but you also won't take damage. You did time it right, the parry just somehow missed. Just accept the weird hit and continue the fight. Next one, claw down tail swipe. This one is also simple and easy to recognize. If he's down on all fours further in front of you, walk towards him slightly to the right. The attack angles inward from there. He will wiggle his butt about half a second before he jumps at you. Start your swing right after he starts his jump. It will take a bit of practice because of the awkward delay, but it will become very consistent. If you miss this parry, he will teleport far to your left or right in the air and pull the camera. He will cast a very fast aerial lunge that reaches you from halfway across the arena after about a second. Note that this attack will be prematurely blocked by the center pedestal or rock elevations at the arena edge. Parry earlier than you think you need to for the aerial lunge. This attack is insanely fast when it starts. I cannot fully explain the indicator for this, just beyond parry earlier. If you step forward and parry, sometimes he will phase through you and neither of you will take damage or get parried. Just accept the weird hit and continue the fight. Wind up claw jump. This is the same as the claw down tail swipe except he's standing. This attack comes out slightly faster due to a shorter wind up. Parrying it is the exact same. This one comes straight at you so you don't need to worry about strafing a bit to the right. Swing right after he starts his jump. If you fail to parry this, he will follow up with a delayed tail vertical strike. Perfect dodge this to the right and wait for the parry circle to collapse. Just before the circle collapses to the inner, attack. The time it takes for your attack to connect will let you parry. If you wait until it flashes yellow, your perfect dodge time slow will expire and the boss will hit you before you land the parry. Wind up claw slam. This one is actually pretty dangerous. It comes out faster than the wind up claw jump previous. You will notice visually he steps back to wind up instead of not stepping back at all for the claw jump previous attack. You want to attack right as he reaches the apex of his jump before he slams on the ground. This has a massive AoE and massive damage. If you're not confident yet, I would consider dodging this. This is also the attack that has weird dodge timing if you're at the edge of the arena due to different rock elevations. Spin back claw. This comes out a little bit faster than normal. He very often uses this after a judgment cut or laser. You do not have to parry this first hit if you aren't ready, as it is a two-part attack. It's an easy parry, just be fast. If you dodge instead, he will follow it up with another swing. Just before the circle collapses to the inner, attack. The time it takes for your attack to connect will let you parry. If you wait until the circle collapses to the inner, your perfect dodge time slow will expire and the boss will hit you before you land the parry. Simple claw swipe. This is the exact same as the spin back claw, except without the spin. It looks like he's gonna shoot you in the face point blank with a laser, but he doesn't. It isn't any faster due to not having a spin, as the wind up is longer. It's a single hit attack and does not hit again if you miss the parry. Pair if you can, dodge if you can't. Not much else to say about this one. Okay, floating AoE. He disappears from the arena for a while. Watch your head. There are a few ways to handle this. Every 1 second, a small electric purple spark flashes above your head. It's purple the first 2 times, red the 3rd time. If you don't trust your dodge timing, start running. Or swap characters and run away, because swapping characters makes his aggro lock on miss and it'll be stuck aiming where your character was previously. But if you don't swap, when the second purple flash appears, jump, double jump, and grapple to the camera. The grapple will happen slightly before the boss reappears and slam into the ground, dealing a massive AoE. If you trust your dodge, wait for all 3 electric sparks. After the red spark, dodge 1 second later to avoid the AoE. Divebomb. He teleports away and appears high in the sky. This is basically a free parry. You can move just slightly closer, do not run to him. Do not back away. When he charges the black-red orb to dive, attack right when it gets really big. He will dive bomb into you and parry himself. This is also considered a pre-parry. It will take some practice, but it's not too quick or slow, so eventually this becomes a very reliable parry. Far uppercut. It will spawn very far in front of you, like extremely far, and quickly dash in while raking his claws across the ground before uppercutting. If you realize he's using this due to the extreme distance, attack when he's just about halfway towards you so that he parries himself. Otherwise, it is easy for this one to catch you off guard, and don't worry if you have to dodge it. This move is rare and he doesn't use it very often. Now about the laser that one-shots you. There isn't much I can say about visual cues, as he does not have much visual indicators for when it will be fired except the ball fully vanishing from his finger before he shoots. It's mostly audio, just listen to when it sounds fully charged and dodge to his side. I would recommend double dodging sideways because they changed the timing of the damage instance of this attack from beta. It used to deal damage instantly on beam appearance. Now, it's delayed. If you dodge into the laser, you might be considered early and you will still eat a hit and get one shot. Always dodge sideways for this attack now. It is no longer safe to dodge into the laser. Double dodging sideways also increases your chances of landing a perfect dodge since the first dodge is almost always considered early on this attack. For the Judgment Cut, visually, wait until his energy charge turns from purple to red, then look at his left foot. When it rises up to its highest point, wait half a second, then dodge. He casts Judgment Cut when the foot slams back down. This is the visual indicator. Special parries. The Judgment Cut is considered Mephis' signature attack. These can be parried by Jianshin's counter. Clone mechanics. The clone has no requirement to spawn and can be used at any point in battle, even at the start, but he cannot use this attack unless you're on difficulty 4 or higher. Parrying the clone does not stop Mephis from attacking. Parrying Mephis will make the clone vanish. Thus, it is always preferred to parry Mephis instead of the clone. Furthermore, their attacks can be different and desynced. If Mephis is not on the field, do not parry the clone if it appears first. The field-wide time stop from a parry does not apply to Mephis if he isn't present. You will be slowed after the clone parry, and Mephis will spawn in at full speed and hit you. To repeat, if the clone is alone on a screen, do not parry it, dodge instead. If you parry while both are on screen, Mephis will be slowed as well, which may or may not let you get a free boss parry mid-attack. If the timing is awkward, just dodge away from Mephis' attack. You do not need to parry everything. Remember, if a clone attack rotation looks too dangerous, just dodge and run away. It isn't worth the risk, especially because the boss can kill you in 2 to 3 hits. The clone can be parried in every attack like Mephis can. This can be useful for easing the burden on the fight, because situations like laser plus Judgment Cut, or Judgment Cut plus laser, or Judgment Cut plus triple hits, all at the same time, can happen. Otherwise, that's about it. Good luck on your Tempest Mephis hologram clears. I hope this guide was helpful. Cheers! If this is your first time watching, feel free to leave a like or better yet, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Stick around if you want to see interesting videos on a nearly daily basis. Don't miss out on any of that, do you? That'll be it for this video. Thank you all for watching and see you all next time.
Darkest hours nearing, in silence we're drowning. Hear the